What's up? How we doing, guys? We are getting ready here for our afternoon session. I am sitting long. Here we go. I've got my stop at break even. I'm sitting long. We've got a big soft bull channel. I've got my eye on the wick up at the top of bar 32. My stop originally was managed right below the wick low of 38. And I'm seeing if I can get something going here this afternoon. Getting ready for the session. Let's see what we can put together. Come on in. How we doing? How we doing? Good to see everybody. So, you know, after we got that close right there on 43, I had to move my stop. So my stop is sitting pretty damn close to where the market's currently sitting. I need to see if this thing can't turn into a sideways range. That's what I don't want to see. If this guy turns into a big sideways range from that soft bull channel, that is not tremendous. Okay, so let's see if we can put something together here. How we doing? Welcome on in. We've got a hell of an afternoon session on the way, I'll tell you what. ATR sitting at 23, which is a little bit low. Volatility's a tad low. You know, that's okay. That's all right. We can work with a little bit low volatility. But again, soft bull channel, don't want to see that turn into a sideways range. So I've got my eye on that wick high of bar 43, bar 32. We got to take out those wick highs, go a little bit further, hit target, and we can get this afternoon session started off on the right foot. All right, bulls, come on now. Now, you know, again, this is really typical of the market, which is why I'm cool with my stop being at break even effectively. By the way, I didn't necessarily move it to break even on purpose. That just happened to be where 43, the wick low of that bar was. When these start, you know, fading, these moves, these bull channels, they start fading in strength. It's really common for these guys to turn into sideways ranges. So I gotta tell you, I like the position I'm in. I just gotta make sure I can hit actual target, which is gonna be above that wick high, right there at 32. So, see what we can get. How we doing, guys? Come on in. Got a nice afternoon session here on the way. Mario! Bartlett, how we doing? You know, volatility, I gotta tell you, it's been pretty good in the mornings. We're fading a bit earlier in terms of volatility than I would really prefer. So maybe my hope is that in the next couple of hours we can see a bit of a pickup in terms of volatility in general, ATR, you know, and we can get a little bit more work done here. I don't want to see it ideally dip beneath 20 in terms of volatility. So, you know, let's see what we can get done here. Brandon, news, how are we? Terry, how we doing? Yeah, that's right. Too bullish. When the market is just non-stop bullish, a lot of times volatility starts to get killed off. That's exactly right. You get those grindy bull trends. You know. Hey, Nico, what rules would you set around moving your stop loss to break even? They say, for me, if take profit is beyond Okay, for me, moving stop to break even, I don't do it intentionally. I tried moving stops to break even as a strategy. I ran it based on statistics and numbers. For me, if my stop gets moved to break even, it's because it just so happened to do that based on the price action. I was never able to find, at least for intraday trading, an effective strategy that arbitrarily moves stops to break even. A lot of people, what they do, especially newer traders, they end up moving to break even because they're a little bit in the money, and that feels really good. It makes you feel like you're protecting your downside, but the problem is when you move to break even, you end up shifting the probability of the trade in crazy ways. And that can cause a lot of problems, not only statistically speaking for newer traders, but psychologically as well, man. You move to break even when you're 7 points in the money, for example. That can cause some issues. You end up getting stopped out a lot more because you're killing the probability. All right, volatility, ATR, average true range, still sitting at 22 here. Still got my eye on that wick high at 32, bar 32 that is, here on a 5-minute Nasdaq chart. And I'm a little bit tight. Again, my stop happens in this case to be at break even. Again, based on price action, not arbitrarily moving to break even, which I'm not a big fan of. Let's see if these bulls can take out that wick high right here around 30,710-ish. If we can pop up through that wick high, though, I've got a nice trade on here. Nice little trade. How are you guys doing today, by the way? So far, how are we? How we doing? Javaz says he's red. Jacob broke even. Manuel healthily green. Tremendous. Yeah, when you get, again, guys, I think it's really important to understand when you get these markets where you get kind of grindy channels, but the volatility's, half decent in the morning, you end up going sideways a lot of the times. That can end up killing volatility. It can kill volatility. That ATR, average true range, can start dipping below 20 on a 5-minute NQ chart. When it dips below 20, a lot of the opportunity kind of heads out. When it starts getting below 10, that average true range on a 5-minute NQ chart, it's time to walk away. But we're still at 21, so it's still time to do some work. Oh, you bulls. All right, I think we might have a channel on our hands here. Let's see. All right, cut it there right around break even here. And let's see if we can get another opportunity to get long. Because I want to. Could have been a tremendous trade had we cracked that wick high of 32. I think volatility is going to continue to fall here, at least for the time being. But if we can break out of this channel, I'll tell you what, we could get that ATR back above, let's say maybe 25 or 30. I don't care if we end up popping into another soft bull channel, a bull trend, a soft bear channel, a bear trend, maybe a wider trading range. That'd be fine. All right, now this 5-minute bar is one of the biggest 5-minute bars that we've had in the last really 2 hours. You could almost say 3 hours, okay? So, yeah. Got to chill out a little bit on 46. And we'll see how these next 2 5-minute bars, or really the next 1 5-minute bar develops here. Range here on this bar so far, it's still growing. We're looking at about 40 here on the range. So we'll see how this guy closes up. Then we'll watch the next 5-minute bar or 2. Again, I'm watching this. And this after this bigger outsized bar especially, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, yeah, soft bull channels turning into a big sideways range. So keeping an eye on that here. Okay, now this bar is still growing. We're now sitting in the mid 40s on the ATR. So higher volatility here on this 5-minute bar here on NQ. Again, still big soft bull channel turning into a about a 60-point wide sideways trading range. So we got to keep an eye on that. This bar here kind of cements that. So keep an eye out. See what's up. Oh, I gotta tell you what I like about these outsized bars when they hit. Kind of best case scenario, because you can start to see a bit of a volatility increase. ATR is already up from 21 to 24 just here on this 1 5-minute bar alone. So, as long as we can stay, or I guess I should say get away from this sideways trading range as soon as possible, it's going to do good things for volatility. But, you know, right now, again, range. I'm banging my head against the wall, reminding myself that we're in a big old trading range here to not do anything stupid. All right, now remember, as much as this bar has you thinking that we should be breaking out of this range, right? Big outsized bar, at least 80% of breakout attempts in sideways trading ranges will eventually fail. So keep reminding yourself, range until it's not. I get it. I want to trade too. But if we're going to trade in here, we got to take range scalps until we're away from this thing. Question: What about taking the reversion scalp here on this outsized bar? Okay, so the look here is this, right? Does it make logical sense to perhaps buy that outsized bar, looking for the reversion? You could say, well, we're in the lower third of the soft bull channel and the lower third of the sideways range. Yes, it makes logical sense. My one issue with it is that this bar here is not a small to moderate bear body. That's a large bear body, which to me shows a confidence level with the bears this low that I'm not super comfortable with, because what am I going to do? Risk this wick low here? That's a little close for a bear body of that size and stature. You know what I mean? So for me, in that scenario, I'm looking to get long on small to moderate bear bodies, but we're now in a sideways range and you can already see it's causing problems, you know, in the soft bear channel. I'm sorry, the soft bull channel. So at this point, I'm looking at this as a straight up sideways trading range and watching to see if this bear body can close well beneath that sideways trading range. You know, if you did take that trade, I wouldn't be mad at you. But for me, it's not my favorite. You know, limit order reversion scalps for me. Typically, I'm looking for small to moderate bodies. So like in a soft bull move, I'm looking to get long in the lower third on a small to moderate bear body, not a big, oversized, large, you know, bear body. All right, we've got the bears testing the low end of this sideways range. Let's see if they can break out here. Bears attempting to break out. Let's see if they can get a nice, good, reasonable, clean bear close well outside of the range. Now, you gotta remember, most of these breakout attempts will eventually fail, so keeping an eye out here. See if these bears got what it takes. Yeah, look, I get it. I know. Shorting this bar here is really, really tempting. I know. But we're not even to the point right now where it's the early trade. This bar hasn't closed up yet. You know, so for me, could I take the early trade in 3 minutes? Yeah, 100%. But for me to do so, those bears, they need to close it up quite a bit lower than where they're currently sitting. You know, so if we could grow this bear body to be maybe at least 30, 35 points in range and then close up nice and clean, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have an argument for an early trade. I can decide whether or not I want to take it contextually. But until then, the temptation is only that. It's temptation to get short. For me, I got to chill out, okay, and wait. But as soon as it hits, I'll hit it. Chat says, in my opinion, it's difficult to trade this trading range. They say we are still in a strong bull trend on the daily, the hourly, and most of the minute charts. Even if there's a clean bearish body, it can still be reversed totally within 2 to 3 bars. Yeah, so I mean, contextually speaking, taking the early trade in a situation like this takes a little bit more guts than in more of a, you know, kind of up in the air, soft bull channel, soft bear channel type of market. So for me to take the early trade, it better be convincing, or I'd be waiting for the second close anyway. Now here on that 5-minute bar close, we closed right at the bottom of that sideways range. The bears were not able to take it any lower. That's what I mean when I say, you know, 80% of these breakout attempts are going to fail. You know how tempting it looked to short that, you know, 2 minutes ago? That dried up pretty quick, right? Now still, from here, over the next couple of bars, we could very well get a nice looking short setup, but I am waiting on conviction. See, these bears really trying to break out of this trading range here, having a lot of trouble doing so. See this wick on bar 47, the wick on bar 48. Trying again here on bar 49. Let's see if these bears have what it takes to get us out of this trading range. Testing the lows once again of the range. See, these bears already fell in the breakout. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. These bulls don't want to give up the range. Now, this range as far as width, we are about 60 points wide. I know it seems crazy, but if I could get a tight 2-bar continuation setup back up to the bull side, I'd be willing to hit it. But, you know, it's got to be ideally beneath the midpoint for me to get long here in this trading range. So I don't have a lot of room to thread the needle on that setup, you know? These bears, they don't want to give up. Okay, 30 seconds out from the close here of 5-minute bar number 49 of the New York session on NQ here. If we can get a nice clean bear close, I'd like it to grow a bit more than what it's doing. But for me, after 46, 47, 48, and now 49, if we can get a nice clean close, I'm looking to get short. Stop limit sell is out. Copy trader engaged. Ooh, there we go. See if the bears want to take that. It's damn close. They will take it. I'm sitting short on the early trade. So let's see if these bears can take us lower here. Again, this is the early trade. First bar to convincingly close outside of that trading range. However, in my head, that's a more attractive early trade than the previous two would have been after we got 47, 48, and never really got a bull bounce, any meaningful bull bounce. So I'm happy to take that. Let's see if we can get a push downside. If the bulls want to take this thing back up and return us to a sideways range, you got to think. It's like the soft bull channel, any argument you want to make, at least as we sit right now, is kind of dead. Okay, so I'm cool with that. Now, would I prefer if this baby had set up to the long side, given the current market environment? Sure, okay. But, for me, there's a line of what I'm willing to take. This is kind of barely over that line. So I gotta put it on, accept the outcome, move on with my day, All right, volatility still low, but holding on to an ATR of 22. All right, Bears, good work here so far. Let's see if these Bears can keep that pushing. Big bar 50 doing work for me here so far. Well, little hesitation here out of the bears. That's all right. It's all right. Let them do their thing. See how this bar closes up, and we will see if they can take out that wick low. If they can, they're not looking like they're going to be able to. I would have to move my stop loss. If they can't do it, then I'll have to leave it as is. All right, stop loss staying as is. See if these bears can get some work done here. Chat says up 3K, I'd be out. Look, guys, it's not about the amount of money you're up. It's about doing the right thing to protect your edge. I used to do the same stuff, okay? Oh, man. You know, I'm up a couple $1,000. I should really take it. No. You got to protect your edge. That's the most important thing. Okay, one individual trade means absolutely nothing. Other than making you feel good on a Tuesday. Which is irrelevant to the end goal, right? All right, Bulls trying to bounce us here. Let's see what they got. All right, we got the rollover into big bar 52. Bulls trying to get some work done here. Let's see what they've got. My question becomes, do they try to take it back up into the range? You know? All right, these bulls are really trying here. My risk is managed above the wick high of bar 49. So far, they've had us in the money maybe 15 points. Not enough. Not enough out of those bears here thus far. Volatility is still kind of low. 22 on the ATR. Got to make these bulls earn it, man. Bulls trying to do work. Come on now, bears. Let's step on in, baby. By the way, these bulls are testing that previous range low. You know, so while it's bottom of the barrel relevance for me, that 20 EMA is also there. So we'll see if the bulls can, you know, make us move on here. See what they got. Here comes the test of that wick high of bar 49. All right, new bar, rolling over into bar 53. See if these bulls can take out that wick high of 49. They're trying. You see this hesitation. I mean, that's why the risk management goes above bar 49. It's no coincidence, but we got to make them earn it if they want my stop. Yeah, that's right, bulls. Back off. Back off. Well, bulls taking their sweet time here, testing that wick high of bar 49. Let's see, can these bears step in and fade us back downside? You know it's time. You know it's time. Miracle on Wall Street Part 2? Do it to them, bears. Let's go. Fade this son of a gun. It's a battle. It's a battle. Wick high of 49 is an absolute battle. That's no coincidence. All right, bulls taking one more run here at the wick high. We've got what is essentially a doji here on bar 53. Both sides having trouble. Let's see who wins this battle of the wick high. All right, new bar, bar 54. Still, we've got the battle of the wick high of 49. Let's see if these bears can fade us back downside. Do it to them, bears. Go. Fade this thing 400 points. So, these bears are holding off those bulls on the battle of the wick high of 49 here so far. Those bulls might be stepping back in. We need those bears to take over, take us back downside. Maybe we can take out the wick low of big bar 50. That would be tremendous. What do you guys think in chat on this trade? Am I cooked? Or are we good to go? Well, chat seems to agree, man. I guess we're heading, what, about 400 points lower? See what we get. Bears trying to take us back downside toward break even. In the meantime here, those bears winning the battle of the wick high of 49. We've currently got The Miracle on Wall Street Part 2. Going on, bears taking us back basically to break even here on this trade. Man, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit like on the stream for part 2. Miracle on Wall Street. This thing's gonna tank, man. We're getting it going. All right, there's the rollover. Big bar 54 into big bar 55. Go, Bears. Do it to them. All right, Bears. Tank this thing, man. We got within a tick. What is that? 1 tick of the stop. First, those Bears had us in the money. We got Miracle on Wall Street Part 2, my man. And then those Bulls took us back upside, man. Almost stopped us out. And here we are, back at break even on the trade. Let's see, can these Bears take us way deep into the money? See what they got. Chat asks, do you feel stressed right now? Man, I'm having fun right now, dude. I'm having a great time. I love this shit. I love this shit. We're having fun, dude. You guys, the point is when you take enough trades and you have enough of a track record for yourself, not for other people, and you know that when the sample size gets big enough, you get what you want, which is to be able to do this full time and to have an income that you can ideally more than provide for your family with, you're good. Every individual trade doesn't matter. All right, Bears, taking us in the money. Let's see if we can take out that wick low of big bar 50. I've got my eye on big bar 50. We got to take out that wick low. See what these Bears got. All these bulls trying to step back in. Don't you do it, bulls. Now, I gotta tell you guys, part of the risk here is that we just turn this into a big sideways trading range. That's part of the risk. That would kill volatility. ATR is currently 20. But if we turn this into a trading range, that would not only kill volatility, but also kill the trade idea. So we got to get these bears tanking out, taking out the wick low of bar 50. We need that now, bears. Let's go. All right, as the bulls try to take this guy higher again, we got a big risk of a sideways range stepping in. Bears are going to have to put an end to this real quick. ATR sitting at 21, volatility not tremendous. Oh, you bears! Don't you let the bulls push you around like that. Not a chance. Not a chance. Here we go. Retest of the wick high at big bar 49. Let's see what these bulls got. That's a sizable bull body here on bar 56. Let's see. ATR, this big outsized bull body on 56 has ATR now sitting at 22. Retest of the wick high of 49. Man, if the bulls were ever going to get it, now's the time. Now is the time, man. All right, rollover 56 into 57 bulls. What you got? That's the test of the 20 EMA, by the way. Coming right into the stop, which is the wick high of 49. Bears have had us in the money. Bulls took us within a tick of stopping out. Bears had us in the money again, and we're right back here. What did I say? Risk of big sideways range? Well, here you go. Here's that risk playing out. Let's see what the Bulls got. Man, if they can hold this off and tank this son of a gun, that's really the Miracle on Wall Street Part 2. A dual test. Bears, let's do it, man, just for the story. That would be tremendous. They are so close, Bulls. All right, what you got? You gonna do it to us or what? They gotta earn it, man. It ain't over till it's over. You know how it goes. Getting real tight here. They did it to us! Oh, you Bulls! All right. Moving on, baby. Hey, that was a fun trade. I had fun. See what these Bulls got on 57. You know what this leads me to think? This move failed. This move failed. It's a big range. Big range is what we're looking at here now. Okay, that wasn't necessarily the case here. It wasn't even necessarily the case by the time you got 49.50. But now we're looking at a big sideways trading range until it's not. So, goal number 1 here is not to get suckered in until I really gotta quit banging my head against the wall saying range, 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 because that's what it is. Now we've got less than 2 hours here until the New York close. So it's not a lot of time to expand this volatility. You know, ATR sitting at 22. Gotta keep an eye out here. That's slow, man. Volatility's low. I really would like to see that pop up above 30. Yeah, now watch the market tanks 800 points right now. That's part of what we're doing here, man. It's all right. All right, hey, 2-minute break. Don't you go anywhere. All right, what's up? Welcome back. All right, we're looking bar 58. What's ATR at? We're down to 21 here on the ATR. And just looking for logical things to do. We've got... My look is this. Now attempting to turn into this, which is tighter. Okay. And how tight are we? Maybe 50 points? Actually, more like 40 points. 45 points at best. Alright, so we'll keep an eye on that sideways range. It's using the previous low of the sideways range as kind of his resistance point, by the way. That 20 EMA is coming into play a little bit. Sure, chicken and the egg type thing. No question about it, the soft bull channel is dead. The soft bull channel dream is dead. A lot of good, obvious trades through here, by the way. And then this here has gotten a little bit tougher. That's all right. That's all right. If we can get that ATR back up a bit. All of a sudden, right back in it. We can start hitting some trades again. How you guys doing so far, by the way? We doing all right? We enjoying ourselves? Not asking about P&L necessarily. It's important. It's the most important thing of what we're doing here, but I'll tell you what. When that starts to come, and you hate what you're doing, you're gonna get to a point where you're like, this is not fucking worth it. I'm not enjoying this at all. Don't get to that point. Yeah, man, things are really tightening down here. We got, what, about a 40-point wide range? Yeah. Now you start looking at this. And originally the soft bull channel dream was that beautiful little move. Of course, after this move, something else too, right? But then it turned into this bigger soft bull channel. And now I think you could probably draw it like that, but the problem is... What's the problem? Can anyone tell me? The problem is you can also draw it like this now. Probably draw it more like this. So it's like, fuck, is it a big soft bull channel? Is it a shorter term soft bear channel? Is it this? When you can make too many arguments, usually I like to make these arguments because it provides instant clarity as to what the deal actually is. You have a couple of bigger ranges and you have this tighter range. So as day traders, you know, I'd probably look at that guy right there. You can tell all these lines are tilted and shit because I don't overthink it. Who cares? It's a range, right? So we'll keep an eye on that and see what's up. But I do have to tell you, the way the market's been going lately, It would really surprise me if we just tanked, like, from here, from a single bar, not a single bar, but a tight sideways trading range. If the bears just kind of came in out of nowhere after this failed move into this and just tanked it, I'd be a little bit surprised. Especially if we tanked all the way to low a day, the wick low of 3. I mean, it'd be tremendous, but in hindsight, it'd be like, that probably shouldn't have happened as far as probability is concerned. If we headed back upside, by the way, kind of like, you know, hung out around here, did a whole lot of nothing, and then faded back down into this range and closed the day, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Question, what's your opinion about trading ES versus NQ? They're both great. I think there's this thing that, like, if I hopped on one day onto live and I was trading ES, that people would be like, oh, what's going on? Whoa, like, what's up? Why did he switch? You guys, they're all the same. I like I like NQ. I shouldn't say they're all the same. They're not all the same. I like NQ because it's the wild younger sibling to ES. ES is for the OGs. All the OGs traded ES, you know, like 15, 20, 25 years ago. But NQ is the wild child, which, I mean, like, straight up is better for what we're doing here. Like, it's more fun, it's more entertaining, and I love trading NQ. ES, sometimes, especially in lower volatility environments, it can be a little bit like, you know, more than NQ, like watching paint dry. And, you know, we have lower volatility environments a lot. And I trade NQ very well when volatility is high, especially. So I think a lot of people, they're scared off of NQ, buy NQ because the higher volatility. I do fucking really well pretty often when NQ is higher volatility. So I like that. So kind of the one thing that people don't like so much about NQ, I'm into it. But if you're like, Nico, you can't trade NQ anymore, only ES, I'd be like, fine, dude, just give me a chart, let's go. Now, there's a difference between like ES and NQ, and then you go to commodities, like gold, things like that. Commodities, in comparison, they tend to range harder and longer than NQ and ES. And they tend to trend harder and longer than NQ and ES. You understand that little nuance, and you don't get sucked in, especially betting on breakouts in commodities when it's in a trading range, you're fine. You got it. Just go trade the commodities then, as long as you understand that nuance. Which is not necessarily always the case, by the way, but it's kind of a general rule over a big, big sample size. But you know what? They're all great instruments. There's nothing wrong with ES. There's nothing wrong with NQ. I wouldn't let... If anyone's trying to convince you otherwise, they're too similar to make that distinction, that one sucks and one is amazing. They're very similar. NQ, like I said, is just, you know, the wild younger sibling. That's it. By the way, guys, Apex, you can trade 20 accounts, code BIG, BIG over at Apex, 90% off, single day pass, discounted PA fees. I hear a whole bunch when Apex isn't running a deal. Man, I can't wait till Apex runs a deal. I'm gonna get up to 20 accounts. You're sitting back, you're like, yeah, I've said that shit. So why aren't you trading 20 evals right now? My man, you're out of excuses to scale, big dog. It's time to go. There is no time. All right, hanging out in this little range. Oh no. Oh no. ATR dipping below 20. That is not tremendous. We don't love that. Matrix says used code BIG this morning. Already passed the eval. My man. My man. Someone asking, how'd you already pass that? Because at Apex, you can pass in 1 day. You can technically pass in 1 trade. There is no like minimum time to pass Apex evals. So if you're kind of unclear, you could theoretically, and a lot of people do this, you could go buy 20 Apex evals, pass them all right now in the next 90 minutes, and have 20 funded accounts tomorrow. That's allowed. You can do that. Which is, tremendous. I love that. There's give and takes. Take profit trader, dude. If you're trying to go full-time daily payouts, you can't beat it. But you do have to trade, the test for 5 days. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. But by the time you're getting daily payouts, it's like, this is fucking awesome. We have some people in the chat here who every day they show up, they're like, another 400,000 from Take Profit Trader. I'm like, damn, dude. They're like, yeah, kind of a light day. It's like, but the daily payouts are great. We love it. Yeah, Trader U, that's wrong, homeboy. I've never not gotten paid by Apex. So, I definitely wouldn't try to pass off, your whatever thoughts as fact, because that's certainly not true. There's been a whole lot of money from trade and payouts hitting my bank account from Apex, and I've never had an issue with that, so... Sounds like a you problem, big dog. All love. Yeah, that's right. The Lucid, yeah, you can, the Lucid Pros, single day too, which is cool. Oh, man. Come on. Let's get this ATR back above 20. Sitting at 19, our job gets a little tougher when ATR on a 5-minute NQ dips below 20. Gets a little tougher. Below 10, it's time to walk away, but we can still hang out here. We can still hang out at 19. That's fine. It's just right now, you got to do your best to avoid getting sucked into big, like higher volatility breakout attempts. Manuel! Jesus, dude. It's all money for this guy all the time. Got 4 payouts from Apex last week. 4 more in the queue, yep. Yes, sir. My man. Dude's hitting Apex. He's hitting Take Profit Trader. It's non-stop payouts here for Manuel. My man. ATR dipping to 18 on that rollover, by the way. 60, bar 60, closing up into the open of 61. Still sitting in this range. Things tightening down even further. Question, do you take all the trades that Ram shows during the streams? No, there's a lot of trades. There's a lot of scalps that I'll take. There's a lot that I don't take. That kind of assumes that Ram on a base level is like one setup, right? It's certainly not. It's a top-down methodology. All right, Bulls trying here. Top end of this tighter, like 40-point wide trading range. Let's see what they got. Question, do you trade your live fund? Well, I don't have like a hedge fund if that's what you mean. But yeah, I've traded my personal accounts here on stream. I have multiple personal accounts, but I'm doing all of it. I'm trading. I have personal accounts. I have fundeds with multiple prop firms, right? You know, like if I'm trading evals here, we can do that too. You know, we're doing all of it. I think that's the way to go. You got to scale this shit horizontally. Work on whatever needs work. You know, a lot of times I think it makes sense for people to hit the most active trades in their prop fundeds. And then, you know, if you want to take like an intraday swing, you can throw that on in a personal account. You can take some day trades in a second personal account, like being the in-between, and then take the more active day trades and scalps in your prop fundeds. I think that makes a lot of sense. That seems to be the route a lot of people like to go. Because it's, you know, it's less stressful, I think. A lot of people, when they're trading their personal account, they end up with a very high level of emotion compared to their prop fundeds. And I find that that's a little easier for people to manage if they choose to intraday swing their personal and then scalp in the funded. Some people that might be like the opposite, but I think a lot of people also assume that, you know, you like should graduate from prop trading. I think that's goofy as all hell. That's just not true. If I'm going to be sitting in the chair, I might as well hit every opportunity that is ROI positive for me, which means fucking all of it. You know, so it doesn't need to be one or the other. It should, in fact, be both at some point. Now, if you can't afford, you know, to hit that personal account yet, then keep trading the props, bro. Keep grinding. But at some point, I really do think you should be doing, you know, all of it. Not necessarily at the same time, but, you know, you might need 25 monitors, but fuck, it's the way to go. Nico, my man! With the super chat, let's see here. By the way, you guys don't have to send super chats. It's all good, but I appreciate it, homeboy. Question, can you share thoughts about trading electronic hours and holding slots overnight? Expecting follow-up, or I guess they say they are expecting follow-up bull moves in bull environments, or expecting continuation of a strong intraday trend to extend overnight. For me, okay, so they're basically talking about Asia session, maybe like early morning London session. For me, I trade all those sessions the exact same way that I would trade the New York session. However, there is a little bit of nuance involved. The Asia session tends to kind of act, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, it tends to act more like commodities in the way where a lot of the time it'll just range harder, right? And by the way, this is personal account stuff. Yes, you cannot hold, at least at most prop firms, you can't hold these things overnight. So we're talking personal account stuff now. Asia session, by the way, that's not true for like intra session like day trades in prop accounts for Asia. I'm talking about holding over the break. Okay, does that make sense? So Asia session, I tend to think a lot more like commodities, even on NQ and ES compared to the New York session on NQ and ES. They trade more like commodities, meaning they tend to range a lot harder. So which means that the breakout attempt failure tends to go from like 80% to, in my experience, like 85, 90%. But when it does trend overnight, there tends to be less resistance because, or I guess to turn it into a range, because the volume is so low that you can see trends overnight of like 1,000 fucking points. You know? So I would, for me, when I think about, you're talking electronic hours holding positions overnight, again, the decipher between prop accounts, funded accounts, you can't hold prop during the break, but you can hold prop positions that you opened during Asia session, like while you sleep if you choose to. I think of it the same way. Now, a lot of times, you gotta understand this. If you put on a big trend continuation trade, put on a 600 point target and a 40 point stop and you go to bed, you gotta understand, most mornings you're going to wake up to being stopped out because Asia session tends to range hard. But if you're taking a trend bet and you understand that probability on a trade like my example there is quite low, but you're making up for it in the edge with a big reward to risk, then you're cool. But you got to be betting on a big overnight trend. If you're just making the assumption it's going to go, you need to understand that the breakout failure rate is higher than it is during New York session overnight, at least in the current market environment here in 2026, 2025, a lot of markets. All right, does that make sense? I hope I answered your question to your expectation. And if I didn't, homeboy, we still love it. All right. So you see this. That's a range, dude. Range. You see that? Those bulls on 61 trying to take it higher. Bears take it right back. Bang your head against the wall. Trading range. How many people just got long on 61 saying this time it's going to break out? It's tempting, I know. Most times it's not gonna. All right, Nick, big dog. Appreciate you. You have a good one. Question, this ATR indicator, you know what that is? Well, you probably think I coded that up myself, huh? No, sir. All that is here is I think, it's been a couple years, I think it's the built-in ATR indicator on NinjaTrader. I just styled it how I wanted it. And then what I laid over was the range indicator, which gives me the range in points per bar. I laid it over in the same section, which gives me this pretty little indicator comparing ATR to range, which is just, I think of it as a heads-up data display. I don't even think of it as an indicator. I mean, it's not really indicating anything to me. It's just giving me data. All right, bottom of the range here. Get rid of that and see what's up. See if these bears can take us lower. So, I know, you guys, I get it. It's tempting here on 62. You're like, man, that's a big bear body. Short that shit, right? I need more confirmation than that. It's still a big range. That's what it is. Context wins. The temptation will kill you. And then you'll watch, and one of these times it's going to break out, because 20% of the time it will succeed. That's 1 out of every 5 times approximately on average. Yeah, that's okay. It will happen for sure. Every day it'll happen. But then, it starts breaking out. You're like, damn, I should have shorted bar 62. well, you know, you're not looking at all the bars that you could have shorted that would have failed and ate up all the profit you made when you got lucky on the breakout. So for me, I need a little bit more confirmation to put on something that makes more logical sense. Doesn't mean it's going to be a winner every time. That's not the point. We don't need every trade to be a winner. We just need to scrape off what pays on the statistical edge over a whole bunch of trades. That's it. I'll tell you what, it's not going to happen if you're betting on every breakout you see in a trading range. You're going to get eaten up, and then you'll say, oh, I got chopped up today. No, I think you ignored context too much today. Probably knowingly so, you know? Well, I'll tell you guys what, man. I've got a live meeting with my Tomb guys here in less than 20 minutes. About 17 minutes out. So, those of you guys, I will see you inside. And the rest of you, man, I guess that's too bad. I'll see you tomorrow, big dog. All right, guys. Hey, code BIG. Code BIG, B-I-G, 90% off, single day pass at Apex, discounted PA fees, monster deal at Apex right now, up to 20 accounts, and, you know, daily payouts. Take profit trader, my man. All right, guys. All right, see you soon.